Good morning. My name is Graham Dodds. I am a Chief Inspector in the Police Service of Northern Ireland, living and working in Omagh, County Tyrone, but originally from the Shankill Road area of Belfast. It is a pleasure to be with you this morning to share my reflections on the positive side of my community during the COVID-19 emergency. Even before COVID-19 became the prevalent part of our lives that it is today, it was too easy for all of us to see the negative side of community life and miss the many decent and positive actions that occur in our world. The pace of our lives and social media play a considerable part in this, with bad news travelling much faster than good. As a police officer of 22 years service, I often see the harshness of life and the inhumanity displayed by some towards their fellow community members. It would be all too easy to accept this as our worldview, but it would not be accurate to do so. If we take time to stand back and consider the wider picture of the community, we will allow ourselves to see the hand of God at work in all aspects of life, and from that see the positive, decent and Christian actions that are there if only we look. As a young boy at school on the Shankill Road, I was taught the story of the Good Samaritan by virtue of colouring in a picture of the story and then hearing the Bible reading from my teacher. While I did not develop or improve on my questionable art skills from this lesson, the story of the humanity and kindness of the Samaritan towards the Jewish man has grown and improved in me. Indeed, I feel that this parable in Luke, as I grew up and understood it more, led me to commit my life to serving the public by joining the police. I believe God made this parable stand out for me and guide me to what he wanted me to do. I have been privileged to serve in many communities across Northern Ireland and to make friends in all aspects of society and to be able to serve people in small and larger ways as a result of being guided by this story. In my service, I have always been reassured that there is more good in people than bad, and that the will to help our fellow citizens is a gift given to all of us by God, if only we will see it. Despite the stresses and strains placed upon all of us by the current COVID-19 emergency, I have been humbled and reassured by what I have seen in my local community as people seek to show kindness and support to others, including those they have never met or will meet. A young lady from the Omagh has been a great example of this. She has been blind from the age of 9 and lives in an area that historically had trust issues with policing and authority. Despite her personal challenges and the past issues within her community, she has taken the time to make cakes for her local police officers and deliver them to the station to thank them for what they do every day to keep her and the wider community safe. On the scale of things, this is a small act, but that kindness and hope it brings can never be described as small. I have also seen community members from different political, cultural and social backgrounds come together to provide food packs to the vulnerable, scrubs for the NHS and sustenance for all the health and emergency service workers. A very kind gentleman from Omagh recently donated £1,000 to provide drinks and food for all emergency service workers in the town. His only condition was that he retained his anonymity. This was an act of generosity from the heart. His kindness spread, however, as the business owner was so impressed by his kindness that he then donated a further £1,000 to support this initiative. While providing much needed practical and morale boosting support to the local emergency services, these acts speak to the spirit of the Good Samaritan so many years ago and show that it is alive and thriving in our communities. I know that similar acts of kindness, large and small, have occurred all over Northern Ireland, and that these have made a real difference to people that we know, as well as those that we will never know. However, we are all children of God, and we should all seek to help people whether we know them or not. And in this crisis, I have been thoroughly reassured and delighted by the fact that that has occurred in so many ways and in so many communities. I am therefore reassured and strengthened by the positive aspects of life that I have seen during this emergency. While some people have not responded to the community effort, most have, and the spirit of togetherness has been central to getting through this for all of us. Returning to the parable of the Good Samaritan, I am reassured of the relevance of its message today in my life and in all our lives. The focus now must be on continuing the good work and relationships that God has opened up for us in the midst of the sadness and challenges that COVID-19 has brought. I am confident that we can all do this, and in so doing, create the communities we need and that God requires. Keep safe and keep supporting your community members. Thank you.